Within the world of professional bass fishing, there are tales so tall that no one would ever believe them.
Anthony Gagliardi on day one.
The story of Anthony Gagliardi in the 2014 Forrest Wood Cup is just such a tale.
Day two, 10 pounds and 3 ounces. Yesterday.
After being disqualified from the season opener for an inadvertent rules infraction back in February, Gagliardi had to battle back from rock bottom to qualify for the Cup on his home lake in just 5 tournaments instead of 6.
That had him sitting in 3rd place coming into day number 4. Wow! Forrest going to be close again.
Amazingly, he qualified by just 1 ounce.
Are you ready? Yeah, let's do it.
And today, he won the Forrest Wood Cup by just 1 ounce.
5 bass limits! For Anthony Gagliardi. This is going to be a raw weight deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there. You need 14 pounds even to take the lead. Put yourself in contention for the Forrest Wood Cup. You need 14, 1. Watch it with me. 14 pounds, 2 ounces. You got it. 51 pounds, 2 ounces. You need 12 pounds and 1 ounce to win your second Forrest Wood Cup. A limit of bass for Brent Ayler worth 11 pounds, 10 ounces. Your champion is Anthony Gagliardi. Wow! Woo! Your 2014 Forrest Wood Cup champion, South Carolina's own Anthony Gagliardi.
Congratulations, Anthony. It didn't come easy. It's a great accomplishment. You won over a bunch of great anglers. You'd already won a lot before you even got here, but it gives me great privilege and great pleasure to present this check for $500,000 to you. Show it off.
$500,000 richer to the South Carolina Chevy Pro, Anthony Gagliardi.
And Anthony, with that $500,000, you could buy a trophy if you wanted to, but we've got one for you. Isn't that a great one?
Here we go, South Carolina. Here is your 2014 Forrest Wood Cup champion coming down the runway. You guys give him some high fives as he makes his way around the arena. South Carolina's own Anthony Gagliardi.
Anthony, you're a Forrest Wood Cup winner.
Yeah, I am. I mean, it's amazing. I'm speechless still. But, you know, just to do it here, there's only been a handful of people that can ever say that they won the Cup on their home lake. And just to be able to do it in front of so much family and so much support from the community just makes it all that much more special to me. And then you compound that with just the year in general and the emotional build-up for me. I mean, it's just, I've never experienced anything like this in my life.
You think you can harness from an extreme stream low that you went through in January, harness that to get to an extreme high like you just did?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if nothing else, you know, I think I've learned from this. I mean, because I always get down on myself. You guys know me that have been around me a long time. When I don't do well, it affects me, and it really bothers me. And I think that this should be the one thing that finally propels me past that and just lets me be able to overcome adversity and stay positive, stay focused, and know that better days will come.
You always said the silver lining, if you made this, you had a feeling this might be the way this ended by 1 ounce.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so fitting. I mean, I made it in the championship by 1 ounce, by 1 place. I mean, it's just, I mean, you couldn't, I mean, you couldn't script all that stuff if you tried to. I mean, all these little things that could have gone differently during the course of the year would have changed everything, and it just all whatever I needed, that's what I had, nothing more. I mean, I always had just enough, just what I needed, and I mean, it was enough in the end. I mean, what else can I say?
Got a lot of people here, so one last question for you. We talked a little bit about the intuition versus the being more analytical. You told me last night, I'm not going to swing for the fences. I'm going to run my program like I have, and it turned out to be the win.
Yeah, it did, and I still did. I mean, I did in a little way swing, but I held back on going up the river longer than I thought I was going to. And in that time frame, when I should have been up the river and I stayed, I caught my second biggest fish, which was the difference. So doing that made the difference in me winning and not winning. But I still thought, just because I am so analytical, I knew what I had, and I had to figure that Brandon and Brian were going to catch what they had yesterday. And so I thought I needed to hit that 16-pound mark, and I felt my best chance to do that was to go up there. And so I still went. I analyzed the numbers, and I thought that was going to give me the best shot. But I do think that I made a key decision there in the middle part of the day and not leaving as soon as I was planning to. And when I caught that fish, that made the difference in winning.
Thank you, Anthony. Scott, this is almost painful to do. Runner-up Forrest Wood Cup by 1 ounce.
Yeah, I mean, I did all I could do. I left it out on the water. I fished as hard as I could fish. I think I fished really good. I didn't fish clean, and I said whoever fished clean would win the cup today. And, I didn't fish clean, but, I fished as hard as I could fish. I went off of my gut. I fished pure instincts the second, third, and fourth day. The first day I tried to make stuff work that I tried to force it, and it didn't work. And then I went off of my gut the rest of the tournament and made a big comeback, So, I mean, I'm really happy the way I finished. I think it was sort of destined for Anthony to win it. I mean, but, I gave it my all, and really happy with the way I finished.
Talk about a little bit about your pattern. It looked like you were running pockets, looking for shade, and a kind of maybe a certain mix of grass and wood.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking for grass that had a little bit of wood in it, but the biggest key, the lake is so hard to read. You'll find banks that straight up and down, and then there's grass 5 foot in front of it, and you'd think it'd be deep. When you get over there, it's 7 inches deep, and there's like I don't even know what kind of grass it is growing down there. It's like moss growing off the bottom. But if you could find grass that had 2.5 to 3 foot of water in front of it and had rock instead of that moss in it, you'd get bit. I mean, it was pretty much you call your shots if you knew the lake a little bit. If I knew the lake a little bit better, which I didn't, and then I didn't get on that pattern until the second day of the tournament. At 9:30 the second day, I didn't have a fish, and I went running, and I caught 1 or 2, and I got on that, and I ran with it. I ended up getting a few bites flipping docks with a jig every day, except for the first day, and I caught 2 good ones up the river flipping a jig. I mean, I fished really good the first 3 days. I mean, it had some crazy stuff happen. I mean, I went flipping, and I set the hook, my line breaks in my reel, and I catch the line, I hand line a fish in, and things worked out really, really good. I mean, it just wasn't my turn, I finished right where I was supposed to.
Talk about where the buzz bait that you're using.
Well, today I threw 3 different ones, but the first couple of days I was throwing a prototype buzz bait that Punisher Lures is coming out with, and you get to skipping it and you hit the poles and everything. I only had 2 of them, and it bent the wires up so much, and then when you get to skipping it, the wire bend open. But today I threw I threw a War Eagles and Lunker Lures and a quarters and 3/8, and I had a horny toad on them. I did throw a black buzz bait with a skirt some during the tournament too. I never threw it today, but I threw it during the tournament and caught a fish or 2 on it, and was catching those key fish on a jig, each and every day. It's just a 1/2 ounce. It was a pond bug blue 1/2 ounce pitching jig from Dirty Jigs Tackle. And I mean, that's my favorite jig that they got is that color. So I mean, I stuck with it the whole tournament, and those big ones liked it. I caught some good fish on it this week, but my key bait was the buzz bait just so I could cover more water.
Brent, it comes down to 7 or 8 ounces. I mean, it's one of the closest Forrest Wood Cups we've ever seen. That was unbelievable weigh in, and I know the plan was bring 12 or 13 a day, and at the end just a little short.
Yeah, it was, man, it was so close. I didn't even realize it was going to be that close. I thought that I was well out of it, and to have what I had today and be that close is kind of heartbreaking. But, I don't even know what I could have done differently. I just didn't actually get the bites today, and I had a few that short striked on the schoolers this morning, and, one of them connected, and I win the tournament. So. It's just the way it goes.
It looked like a lot of your drop shotting was around the DNR the brush, the things that the DNR put out.
What I noticed this week is that, everybody talks about the cane and everything here, and as far as I'm concerned, everybody can have that cane as long as they want. I won't touch that stuff because those fish don't live in it. They live in brush, and if you found brush here, you'd catch fish. And I don't care what it was. I fished cane for 3 days straight and never caught one out of it. And if I found a piece of brush, they were there. And then you see those, DNR deals, you can just run the lake and catch them on those things. So, not many though. I mean, it's like fishing bank related stuff. There's not many in those things. And some of them are so big that you don't know exactly where each, where each one, I mean, you could cast to each, brush pile and you miss the one, and that's the one that has a bass and they're ready to eat. So you had to really fish it thorough to get the bites. And, but there weren't a lot down there. That was the problem. But I laid off of them and I played it right, and, it took a long time to catch them, but I did everything right to conserve them, and it worked.
Key lures, I know in the morning it was kind of like more of the double fluke looking rig, and then in the afternoon drop shot.
Basically, yeah, the Yamamoto D-Shad, I threw a single one the first 2 days, and I decided to tie on the double on the third day. I had both on the deck, and when I dropped the troll motor on the spot, I go, I'm going to try that, double real quick, and my first bite was a double. And so I go, well, this is all I'm going to do the rest of the tournament. So, I did that, and then I caught a couple on the Gunfish 115 that Lucky Craft makes, and it was weird. I really didn't think they'd come up at the top water, and I had a lot that would short strike it. That's why I went with the D-Shad. But the first day or 2 days of the tournament, I did get a couple good bites on the Gunfish. And then it was a drop shot after that. So really it was 3 basic baits is what I caught them on.